Hello, my name is Albert Genevieve, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Name Your Own Price model today. There are a few companies who are currently employing this relatively new technique and have found great success doing it. To provide a little bit of background about the Name Your Own Price model, a seller of a product or service sets a hidden threshold price. Consumers bid for units of its product, and if a bid exceeds the threshold price set by the seller, the transaction is accepted. This model works very well on forums where face-to-face interaction is not necessary. We'll talk a little bit later about a somewhat different model of a name your own price that actually occurs in person. The biggest company who has found success with this model is Priceline.com. They've been the pioneering site for the name your own price format. Panera Bread has recently experimented with a similar type of pricing format at 5 of their locations. So just a bit of background on Priceline.com. Priceline was founded in 1998. With the rise of technology, consumers have found it easier to book entire vacations online through comprehensive sites like Priceline, Expedia, and Travelocity. Customers have a general idea in mind of the dates that they are looking to travel and a general idea of where they would like to stay. Through Priceline, customers then place bids on how much money they'd like to spend on a trip. And if their bid matches any company's hidden price threshold, the bid is accepted and the transaction takes place. The products that Priceline offer are said to be opaque travel goods, meaning that the buyers don't know the name of the airliner, hotel, or car rental company that when they are going to place their bids. This is to the benefit of the suppliers because they do not have to disclose the low rates they are willing to accept for their services. Priceline's major competition, Hotwire, Expedia, Kayak, and Travelocity, all employ posted price models where there's no negotiation involved. Priceline serves a more distinct market niche of price-sensitive and flexible travelers due to the uncertainty of results they'll receive from the bidding process. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about Panera Cares and their Pay What You Can model. Panera is currently piloting 5 locations that are set up as nonprofit organizations. The overall goal of the Pay What You Can model is to feed those who may not be able to afford food and increase the community awareness about poverty and hunger. The way this model works, as seen in the previous slide, a large box for cash donations is placed on the register where customers contribute their donations. Cash registers are also available for change or electronic payment as well. The experience is modeled exactly the same way as every other Panera cafe. The only major difference is that there are price suggestions available next to all food items on the menu. Customers are reminded that there is no pressure to pay any specific amount. Many skeptics of the Panera model think that this model will never be successful and it's merely a publicity stunt. However, as depicted by the graph shown, roughly 60% of customers will pay the full suggested price for their meal. 20% actually pay more than the meal is worth, and 20% pay less or nothing. Panera has been successful thus far in their experiment. They've been able to make enough money on their Pay What You Can model to cover their operating costs month to month. So now I'd like to talk about some of the benefits and drawbacks of the Name Your Own Price model, starting with the benefits. First and foremost, it is a huge benefit to the consumer because of the amount of money that they are saving on travel plans. Oftentimes, entire vacations cost 40 to 60% less than they would have if they booked on a competing travel site. This opens doors for consumers who would have been previously unable to use or consume these products or services. Another benefit is that airliners, hotels, and car rental companies are able to fill reservations that would have gone unused. These companies would much rather make a little bit of money on those reservations than none at all. Also, companies like Priceline are not required to publicly disclose the low rates that suppliers are charging. The Name Your Own Price model is said to reduce price competition between suppliers while increasing the mutual profit of the companies involved in these transactions. Next, we'll talk about a few drawbacks of the Name Your Own Price model. With Priceline, consumers are bidding on opaque goods. There is no knowledge of any specific trip details when the bid is made. Oftentimes, customers find themselves traveling at extremely inconvenient times of day and traveling with rather unsavory airliners and staying in unsavory hotels. With this much uncertainty involved, Priceline really must focus on a small niche market of flexible travelers. An issue with Panera's pay what you can model is that there is always a chance that they could fall short in revenue to cover their monthly operating costs. Although they have not experienced this yet, it is always a potential threat to their model. Going back to Priceline.com, a drawback to their model is that consumers can team together or make multiple accounts on different email addresses to share their bids and collaborate to get prices that an average solar user could not. This in turn even further reduces the willingness to pay in customers. To conclude, the name your own price model has seen extreme success in today's technologically evolving world. Priceline has developed a very successful model that benefits all parties involved: the consumer, Priceline.com, and the supplier. The recent development of Panera Cares, one could assume that the name your own price model may start appearing in a few more industries.